So, okay, my name is Marisol Palacios, and I'm going to be talking about dogs for my speech. Specifically, black dog syndrome. I thought it was really interesting because it's not something I knew of or really thought about before I got a black dog myself. So, what is black dog syndrome? So, black dog syndrome is the phenomenon of black dogs, specifically bigger breed black dogs, being passed up for adoption due to the preference of lighter colored animals. That's it. So, one of the factors to this um, issue in shelters is that, you know, is the photography. Shelters tend to be extremely busy, so that means everything's quickly fast paced. They aren't worried about getting a perfect, aesthetic photo of every single dog because there's just so many dogs, and shelters are packed and overflowing with dogs, especially if they're, you know. So, it's very difficult to take a very good photo or an even decent photo of a black dog if you have a low quality camera, you have bad lighting, and then if you've ever gone through a shelter's adoptee website, a lot of the dogs are actually appear to be extremely nervous. And so it's just like you combine all of that, bad lighting, a hard to photograph dog, you just can't really, you're not able to appreciate the beauty of the dog, right? And so that's actually one of the issues, and people don't really realize that, realize it. It's black dogs just do not catch people's attention when it comes to shelters. And also another thing, when people go to shelters, these, like, if they physically go to them, they're usually in dark cages. I mean, sometimes the cages tend to be very dim lit, and of course, again, many of these dogs and animals are nervous and scared, and so they tend to hide at the very end of the cages. And so at the very end, less light, can't see the dog. Once again, they are ignored. And so it's sad, right? Because a lot of these animals are, and there's a ton of kill shelters. So a study from 2010 showed that over 50% of black dogs in shelters are euthanized. And so, of course, there's organizations dedicated to photographing these dogs really well. Like, they look beautiful in order to find them homes. And there's some people also, there's also some people really dedicated, a part of these organizations that also they get these black dogs out of the shelters. They get them out of the shelters to find them homes so that they won't be euthanized. And in some shelters who are non-kill, no-kill, there's a lot of black dogs that have been there since they were puppies, and they stay there for 3 years because they're perceived as scary, especially if they're big dogs. Big black dogs are feared, and that is due to the interpretation and in the media of them. Usually black dogs in scary movies are shown as a bad omen, and like if something bad is gonna happen, you see a black wolf, or if this scary animal comes in, like, somebody's getting attacked by a dog, is usually a large black dog. While on the other hand, the perfect family image in movies tend to be have on the, the family, right? Suburban neighborhood, but they have the golden retriever or a golden Labrador. Rarely have I ever seen. I don't think I've never seen a movie where a family has a chocolate lab or a black lab. And apparently there's also a psychological study made about that, where majority of people said when they were near a golden Labrador, they perceived them as a very friendly, social, and the chocolate lab was just kind of in the middle, right? The chocolate lab was like, oh, it's okay, but the black Labrador was seen as unsocial, as an unsocial animal, as, scary, intimidating, and maybe too aggressive, even though they probably weren't. But those were the interpretations that people had in this psychological study. So, yeah. That's all I really wanted to talk about, because it's not something I ever thought of at all. I mean, I've always just seen fluffy white dogs as the best, like that is this. I've seen it in commercials. All the dog pet food commercials have these tiny fluffy dogs, light colored dogs, and they're just so cute. And I'm just like, I've always thought when I was young, like, oh my god, those are the type of dogs I would always want. But then I ended up with a little black dog. He's very cute. He's sleeping. He was sleeping. And there was, out of the litter, I believe there were 8 of them, and 7 of them were black dogs, were black puppies, and only 1 was white. And nobody wanted the black ones. I actually don't know what happened to them. The family of the parent dog did not even want them. They really didn't care what happened to them. I have no clue what happened to them. But someone who I know, she just had taken, she had adopted the white puppy immediately. Like, she was like, oh my god, a white puppy, so cute, right? She was like fast about it. And they kind of like guilt tripped her. They had to guilt trip her into taking in the black puppy, one of the black puppies as well. And so, of course, he was basically being ignored, though. And so I actually ended up going to her house, and the puppy was pushed onto me. And I was like, hell yeah. I didn't. It was the best thing ever. But anyway, what I wanted to say with all of this is that we don't talk about this really as much as we talk about, black cats and the superstitions behind it. And we're like, adopt a black cat. Black cats are cool. But no one really notices the negative connotations and views people have of black dogs as well. And so I just think that if you're want to adopt a dog anytime soon, just maybe keep in mind and take the time to look at the black dogs as well, because every dog is cute. So that's it. Bye bye.